Hello, this is Tyler Fawcett with New Mexico's 911 Bureau, and I developed this tool to assist local governments with identifying and resolving errors in their local 911 GIS datasets. I'll be providing a brief walkthrough of the tool in this video, but I've also developed a user's guide, which can be accessed through this button here and contains more detailed explanations of what we'll be going over in this video. You can access the user's guide in your browser, and the user's guide also contains my contact information, so I'm happy to answer any questions. Just give me a shout. This user's guide is mostly comprised of screenshots with labels and descriptions, but towards the end, there's a section devoted to all the error types, or at least the most common types. So for each error type, it describes the cause of the error as well as the proposed fix. So I'm going to demonstrate how to navigate the tool first, and then we can look at a few examples together. This list here on the left side of the screen is a list of all the 911 GIS data providers in New Mexico. So this is around 100 agencies. You're welcome to scroll through to select an agency, but I'm going to search for one, which I've prepared with a few examples we can look at. So if I click this data set here, a couple actions will be carried out in the map. So the first action is that the map is going to zoom to the extent of this data set. And then the other action is that the unrelated data sets are going to be hidden. So we do not see any features in the surrounding area because this is selected. So if I deselect this, these neighboring data sets are going to appear. So I'll reselect this, and now that I've isolated the data set of interest, I'm going to minimize this toolbar. Next, I'd like to explore these three menus along the top of the map. So we've got a legend menu, a data menu, and a display menu. And then each menu you can see has a series of icons which could be accessed through the drop-down. The legend menu allows you to look at legends by data set. So this first button is displaying the error types by color for addresses. This next legend is displaying error types by color for the roads. This icon with the building is displaying the symbology related to all the civic data, or basically the non-error data. And then this last icon is displaying a legend with both the road and the address errors listed by color, and then for each error type, there's a brief description. So this is the more comprehensive option. On the right side, we've got a display menu. This first button doesn't make any sense yet, but it's basically a filter which allows the user to hide errors that have been marked as exceptions, but I'll circle back to this in a second. This icon allows the user to control the visibility of each layer, and then within each layer, there's a few additional options such as hiding the labels and setting filters. There's also an option for users to set view bookmarks. So basically, they can save the view and return back to it at any time. So, for example, this might be useful if a user is switching back between neighborhoods or something. So let's say I'm working in this area, I can simply create a view bookmark. I can rename it as needed, and then if I'm zooming out and working elsewhere, I can return back to that view at any time by selecting this bookmark. And then users are also able to delete bookmarks as needed. This last icon allows the user to choose a different base map. The default base map that I've enabled is the aerial image that we're seeing here, but there's a couple other options as well. And then the last menu here is the data menu. So this is what users can use for searching and selecting, and to a very small extent editing data. So this first icon opens up a table for every data set in the map. So you can see there's road, address, county, and so on. And then you can see down here in the bottom left corner, it lists the total number, or excuse me, it displays a count for the total number of features in a layer as well as the total number that are selected. So you can see this is the statewide data set. So there's over 200,000 roads and there's over 1 million address points. So one of the biggest values of this table is just the ability to navigate such a large data set. So the main tool for refining searches and selections of data is this field here, which is called the Data Authority ID field. So for every feature in the map, that is for every road and address feature, the agency that's responsible for maintaining the data is listed in this column here. And so users can leverage this information to really refine the data set that they're working with. So I'm not going to go into the details here, but there's more details in the user's guide related to these actions available through this button here, including filters and how to use these filters in tandem with searches and selection to really hone in on the data of interest. But in a nutshell, you can work with all of these together, and then eventually you can select one or more features from this table and then go back to these actions over here, and you can zoom to those features on the map. So you can also export data to a spreadsheet from this table. And then these last two icons are closely related. So we have a selection icon and then an edit icon. So basically, if you want to edit something, you must first select it. So this is really like the first of the two steps is to select it. So you can see here, I've only enabled selections for road error layers, road error layers and address error layers. So right now they're both enabled. Let's say I wanted to edit an address point error, that is, I would select this, which changes my cursor into a selection cursor. So let's say I wanted to edit this point here. I would just drag a rectangle across it. So now this point became highlighted and it's being indicated to me that I've got one address error feature selected. So then the next step in selecting and editing something is just to move on to this edit button. And so the large caveat here is that there's only one field that I've made editable, and it's the last field that we see here called error status. And so this is the field that users can use to set an error as an exception or by clicking ignore here. So the reason for this is that not all errors are valid. There are a few that they are exceptions. They might not really fit the rules that are being imposed here. So in that case, users can select the feature, edit it, and then choose to ignore the feature. So I'll show what happens when we do this. So I selected this feature. I have set that error status to ignore. I'm going to step out of this selection mode. Let's clear that. Okay, so now we see it's taking forever to respond, but that should disappear in a second. So when we're looking at these display icons, this is what I wanted to circle back to. So you can see it finally disappeared. It just takes a second, but basically this filter is hiding errors that have been marked as exceptions. So errors where the person clicked ignore. If I want to, I could see all errors, including those that have been marked as exceptions, by disabling that. So you can see I clicked that, and this has reappeared. But these error exceptions are hidden by default. So now that we have a basic understanding of navigating this map, I would like to look at a few examples together, which I've already bookmarked. So before we look at these examples, I'm just going to open up this more detailed legend so that viewers can become more familiar with these different error types. So I'm going to work through these error bookmarks and then call it a day. So the first bookmark is an address error. So you can see here there's not many types of address errors, and really the only two that are common are the name mismatches and the out of range errors. So this is an example of a name mismatch error, and that means that the name on the address point, the road name, does not match the name on this road segment. So you can see the name of the road is really East Jesus Carrion Avenue. And these other address points that are along this road share that same name, East Jesus Carrion Avenue. But this address point, which is circled in orange, is misspelled. So instead of Carrion, it's Carrion. So that's wrong. So this was flagged as an error, and the solution is simply for the user to find this address point in their local data set, resolve this typo, and then when this data set is updated each month in this online map, that error will disappear. The next type of address error, and really the only other error folks will be coming across, is an out of range error. So every road center line has what's called a road range. So you can see below the road name, there's numbers indicating the road range. And so the range is describing the address point numbers that should lie along that road segment. And so you can see here, these two address points that were flagged as out of range errors are associated with this road here, with this North Wisconsin Street. So the range on North Wisconsin Street goes up to 799, meaning there should not be address points on this road above 799, and both of these address points are clearly above that. We have 801 and 802. So that's why these have been flagged as out of range errors. So the solution is to either adjust this road range to be increased and so that these numbers fit within the range, or the local addresser may need to readdress these sites to fit within that range. Another common error is a road error called intersection error. And so these roads that are highlighted in orange are triggering road intersection errors. So to demonstrate the problem, I'll actually click on a road that is not triggering this error to demonstrate how roads should be split. So this road you can see goes from one intersection to the other, and it does not go beyond those intersections. But if I click this road that's highlighted in orange, you can see it does go beyond an intersection. It's crossing over that intersection, which roads should not do. All roads should be split at road intersections. So that's why this is being flagged as an error. The solution to this error is for the user to find this road segment in their local data set and then split the road segment. So they would turn this single road segment into two different segments. And then every time you split a road, you then need to update the road range. So initially you will, splitting a road results in two road segments that have like identical information in here. So you just need to go update that. Really, you just need to modify the road range so that they are no longer overlapping. Another common road error is called a dangle, which is a great name for a very simple error, which is the road does not connect like intended. So this road is really supposed to be connecting to this intersection, but it's obviously not. So the user just needs to locate this in their local data set and adjust this road so that it is actually connecting with this intersection. Okay, there's two more errors I wanted to look at. They're a bit more nuanced than the other errors we've looked at, and they're a lot less common. So this first error type is called an overlap, and an overlap occurs when a road's number range overlaps with another road's number range. So we can see here, these are the same road. They're both called West Buena Vista Avenue, but their road ranges are overlapping slightly. So this road range starts at 900, meaning there shouldn't be another road range that goes into the 900s. But we see that this road range does do that. This road range goes up to 913. So that's triggering this error. So the solution here would probably just be to adjust this road range right here so that it no longer goes into the 900s. Maybe just make it 800 to 899. And then the last error is not an error that's visible from just looking at the map. You actually have to click on the feature to see what's going on. But this error is called a backwards error. So if a road is highlighted in blue, that means that the road range has been entered backwards in the information table. So this road here is highlighted in blue, and then if we look at its attributes, we see that these have been reversed. So every road has 4 fields associated with this number range. There is a number range for the left side of the road, and there's a number range for the right side of the road. And so if we look at this left one, so this stands for the left address, the lower number, and this stands for the left address, the higher number, we can see that these numbers are reversed. So the lower number should obviously be lower than the higher number, and in this case they are not, because these are just backwards. So the solution here is for the user to locate this road in their local data set and just reverse these numbers so that they're no longer backwards. And a quick note about this error type is that it's probably going to resolve other errors too. So we can see here there are address points placed along this road which have been flagged as being out of range. But if we look at this, we can just visually tell that they're not really out of range. Like this address number is 215, and that certainly fits within this range, which is in the 200s. But this was flagged as an error, again, because this was backwards. So whenever the user resolves this, when they reverse these numbers, it will actually automatically resolve these associated errors as well. So I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, there's more detailed descriptions of these error types and their solutions in the user's guide. So please refer to the user's guide or just give me a shout. Honestly, I'm always happy to chat. I know this is a lot to digest. So yeah, please don't be a stranger. So thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for your efforts, and best of luck, because we've got a few errors to resolve. But again, thank you.